Hi there. Today we're going to talk a bit about lateral area, surface area, and volume. So LA stands for lateral area. Okay, and LA is the total of each of the areas of each face, not including the area of the bases. So we are not including our bases when we find this area, okay, for a three-dimensional figure. Sometimes in these formulas you will see a P, and that stands for the perimeter of the base. So we've already talked about big B and area of the base. Here we're talking about the perimeter of the base. And the pyramid and cone both have a lowercase l in their lateral area formulas. Lowercase l stands for slant height. And sometimes you'll have to use the Pythagorean theorem to find it. Okay. How different is lowercase l from h? Well, lowercase l, or the slant height, is often the hypotenuse of a right triangle, whereas the height is, or h, is often the leg. H is going to be perpendicular to the base, and L is going to be connected to the side of the base. So let's look at some examples. As you can see over to the right-hand side of the screen, I've taken a piece of your formula sheet. So we are looking specifically at lateral area. So we'll be looking at these two formulas. So in the first one, we need h, which would be the height of this triangle. The height of this figure. I'm sorry, I misspoke there. The height of this triangular prism, and P, the perimeter of the base. So here we have a base of 4, and it's labeled as an equilateral triangle. So the perimeter would just be the sum of those three sides, which would be 12. And I could put meters behind that. And then the height of this triangular prism is the distance between the bases. So that's going to be 9. And our lateral area formula we can pull from the side. That's h times p. So all I'm going to do is multiply 9 by 12. And I get a lateral area there of 108 meters squared, because area is a second-degree measurement. For my pyramid that I have over here, my lateral area formula is 1/2 slant height times perimeter of the base. Okay, so we'll look at the base first, and I have 6 for each of these sides, so that's awesome. So I'm going to add up all my sides, which is 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, and that gets me 24. I can also be a little bit cognizant of my perimeter formula for a square and multiply 6 times 4. And then I need slant height. But here is one of those examples. I have the height of the pyramid, but the slant height is the one that runs along the side. So if I look at this very carefully, I do see that I have a 4 here, okay, And then I have a 6 for the entire base, but I'm only looking at half of it. So I'm going to take a 3. And then if I'm very good with my Pythagorean triples, I would know that this is a 3, 4, 5. However, if I was not so good at those, I could find the height by doing the Pythagorean theorem. I could say that 3 squared plus 4 squared equals h squared. And if I worked all of that out, I would find that the slant height is 5. So then the lateral area formula is 1/2 the slant height of 5 times the perimeter of the base, which is 24. And in this example, when I multiply all that out, I get 60 feet squared.